Good morning, folks. I'm here sitting in the bed. Gotta comb my hair or some shit this morning. Watching the news. Um, I haven't been commenting on this protest and all this bullshit because I already told people what to do years ago. Whenever next time they kill somebody and it's faulty or whatnot, get your ass up. Stop running up and down the freeways and all this bullshit. Get your ass out there. Sit down with some people. Write a bill and stop the shit. It's fucking simple. It's not that fucking hard to stop police brutality. Write the bill, push it in their face. Somebody's got to sign it eventually. So you got to be smart with it. You can't be shutting down freeways while people going in labor and shit. People having strokes and can't get to the fucking hospital and shit. It's just ridiculous. The lack of respect. Fucking protests, for real. Protest about what? Protest how? In which way? Which manner? Which shape? Which form? It's illogical, all this dumb shit they do. But people are just stupid now. You hop on the freeways and, oh, gray hair everywhere. And it's illogical. Choking people to death and shit. You can bitch and complain, you can cry about everything that happens. Everything that always happens. And nothing is gonna change. These people don't give a shit. They will never care until one of theirs is murdered senselessly for everybody to see it, and everyone chooses not to pursue any actions against the officer. Then things will change. But until then, as long as it's supposed to be a black and white thing, ain't nothing gonna change. You know, you got these anarchists out there hijacking the protests and shit, breaking windows, tearing stuff up. It's just ridiculous. I mean, people wake the fuck up. And I've been telling people this shit for over 5 years. You know, and when I say write a bill or change the laws, to stop police from doing this, then the first thing I get is, well, we stop welfare. Well, if you stop welfare, it's fine with me. I'm not on welfare. My son is not on welfare. My child was never raised on welfare. So when people make those statements to us folks out here who just want a better world for everybody, they make those statements with a racist background. And that's the bottom line. All this month, and that's why I've been on here. I've been on here a while because I've been getting the racist shit. My friends are starting to call me a racist. I'm like, if I'm a racist because I can figure things out or I can see things or because I can point things out, then what does that make you when I ask you a question and you get frustrated? You get flustered. You can't answer the fucking question because you're a racist, you know. And like I said, when you make the statement, to someone who says, "Yeah, we need to create a law to stop overkill," if you break the law, or shoot the maim law, or you know, then the first thing I get 99.9% of the time is, why don't we stop welfare? That's the first thing. And you see my pants hanging up, my slacks hanging up right here. The first thing somebody's gonna say in the video, this guy lives the bum. He lives in some ghetto. I don't live in the ghetto. I live in the suburbs. I can walk around my home. There's no one upstairs. One more thing for the small-minded people. If you live in an apartment complex, that's not your house. Okay, now let's go and move on to the next thing, because that's how people talk. Well, let's go to my house. Well, that's an apartment complex. When you can hear your neighbors flushing their toilet upstairs, your neighbor, it's not a house. Some people buy townhomes, they call them condos, apartment complex, where you just buy your apartment. It's a fucking apartment. Wake the fuck up, people. Don't be stupid. And another thing, for those people who like to make statements about me that aren't true, talk about how ghetto my shit is and everything and all that, and I'm a bum, and ooh, he lives in his grandmother's garage and shit like that. I have fucking thousands of dollars, paintings that cost thousands of dollars hanging on the wall in here. I mean, we are ghetto by no stretch. We're not ghetto. It's because somebody's black and been there, done that. That don't mean they are there. That don't mean they are that. You can't look at black people and just make a judgment. Just like black people can't look at white people and assume that they're all the same. They're not. There's more white people that get shit on by white people than black people get shit on by white people. And people don't understand that. My whole tactic of how to talk to people about the situation or even bring up the situation in conversation is to talk about their issues and not ours. Because if someone shits on you and don't know why they're shitting on you, then you need to learn why someone's treating you a certain way. And once you learn that someone's been taught the wrong way to treat another human being, then you can understand. When you hang me from a cross, I have no other words to say but forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. Because they don't know what they're doing. This country was founded by children. I said it, children. And think about it. You get a jealous little bastard or a hateful little punk ass kid, and then they hate on each other. You cannot build a society based on this, forsaking that, just for one group of people to benefit from. Friends of mine, they call me the most evil person they've known. That's true. I am very evil. I am very sadistic. I'm narcissistic too, probably. The moral of the story is this. Nobody wants to get shit on. Nobody wants to be mistreated. So why should anybody have to accept it? Regardless of who they are or what color they are. Because the most black people don't give a shit about white people. Most white people don't give a shit about black people. As long as you don't fuck with me or bother my stuff, I don't care. As long as you don't steal from me, I don't care. As long as you don't try to accuse me, I don't care. I can care less for those who walk amongst me. As long as they leave me the fuck alone. And that's how it is. I'll reshave. Getting old. So, so all those people want to call me racist because they still call me racist. I still get it. I'm a racist because I believe that everybody should be treated better. I'm a racist because I point out things because we grew up and we were all raised in a racist system. White people dislike black people because of the way they were raised. And those who do not feel those sentiments are because they grew out of that shit. But the things we grew up seeing, the things we were told and taught, they were wrong. And when you become an adult and you notice, wrongdoing around you, only cowards are afraid to speak. So when people make their statements about me and all this and that, and I feel bad for you folks out there. White people, black people, Mexicans, Hispanics, Asians. I feel bad because we live in a world now to where, okay, the assumption of everything being cool is cool. You point out something wrong, you are ostracized, you're out of there. If you dislike the fact that your child is a homosexual, you're outcast, you're a bad parent. We were not raised that way. The generations are different. I mean, the people with open minds and understanding, they're one thing. That's one group of people. The people who hate and dislike, that's another group of people. And the people who just want to be left the fuck alone is another group of people. The people who want everyone to be unified, to live the same, and to be happy, that's another group of people. Everybody was raised different. And when I tell my friends if I had the power to do some things, they'd be like, that's communist. Why would you do that? That's like communism. It's because here in America we need some communism now. There's people who can who can't eat. There's people who don't have no shoes on their feet. There's people who who are living by the hundreds outside in fields in squalor and shit and crap with animals and it's fucked up. And there's billions of people on this planet. And America is supposed to be the number one nation on the world. So why the fuck we got people hating on each other, killing each other, the police not serving the people or not all of the people? How can we be the number one this or the number one that and we can't even take care of ourselves? We can't even fix the past. We can't even talk about the past without being ostracized or considered what you want to defeat. I want to defeat racism, so I have to be a racist. I can't be a racist. I don't have the power to control or change your life. I can't be a racist. I can't go out and stop white people from getting jobs or stop Mexican people from getting jobs because I'm not a racist. But if I had $1 billion company and my $1 billion company influenced other companies, and I say, well, we would like to have these people on my management team, and these people can be supervisors. These people right here can only be workers. And if that's an unwritten law, then who knows when it's being upheld? Who knows when it's being used against a group of people just because somebody had a problem with somebody as a child? You never know. But the moral of the story is, until you can treat me like you want me to treat you, regardless of what color you are or who you are, until you can ask me what time it is without being offended because you had to ask somebody of color something. I mean, whenever you can look at me without being offended for something in you, then we're all good. But until then, you're going to have people who listen to me and who will assume that I do not like or I do not care about or do I not care for a certain group of people because of the way I speak. But if you look deep inside the words, I'm not a racist. I'm a realist. I want to be treated just like that guy, just like that guy. I don't want to be treated like that guy. I want to be treated like a human being. I'm watching the damn TV the other day, and we Americans are huggy, feely people. And then they say, well, Michelle Obama put her hand on the back of the Queen of England. Now, well, we can't touch those people. How come you can't touch them? Now, if I was LeBron James and somebody came to my game at the end of my game and wanted to talk to me, I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to be a regular person. I'm not going to change who I am for somebody else's belief system because they're not going to change who they are for you. Why should you change? And this goes back forever. And I understand the royal family don't want nobody touching their royal people. But they're not my queen and king. The motherfuckers don't run me. Fuck them. I can care less about them. They're regular people. I wish them all the best in the world. I don't wish any harm on anybody, but fuck them. If I have to hold myself in a different angle because someone's in the room or not speak. I was working at this one place and Joe Montana came by. Now, this is Joe Montana, former quarterback, San Francisco 49ers. Joe Montana. And his supervisor says, don't speak to Joe. Don't look at Joe. Don't give Joe eye contact. Don't ask Joe any questions. Don't ask for Joe's autograph. And I'm like, I didn't. I didn't give a damn about Montana. I don't care. I saw him, looked at him, kept going. I know somebody else who met Joe Montana. And at his job, they said the same shit. Don't look at Joe. Don't speak to Joe. And when Joe Montana saw this guy was fixing his computer, not computer, he's a printer. You know, it's people used to have printer technicians that come in and put ink and fix your printers back in the day. This guy was a printer tech, and Joe Montana was in the office. And he said, "Hey, how you doing?" I looked up. He said, "I'm kind of busy down here." I said, "You know who I am?" He says, "Yeah." And he went back to work and kept doing what he's doing. I've met several famous people, stars or whatnot. I don't even fucking speak to them. I met Dr. John 10 years ago. Uh, didn't even speak to him. He said, "Hey man, everybody up there asking questions." Dr. John got that voice, He's like, "Hey man, you pretty cool." He spoke to me because I left them alone. You leave people if you walk in a room and there's Beyonce, Jay Z, Eddie Murphy, and all these people, wave at them and keep going the fuck on. Because these people want to live. They don't want to feel like, okay, every time they go somewhere they gotta hide. No. Regular people are regular people. Everybody is a regular person. Everyone has the same desires and the same needs. And the number one need and the number one desire is opportunity. Everybody just wants the opportunity to have their own stuff and be happy. Nobody want to argue and fight. Nobody wants to be, you know, battling over some crap, 500,000-year-old uh, fight in the Middle East. Bullshit. Then one more thing. I am a real, true American. I know my skin is brown, and I was born here, and my grandmother was born here, and my father was born here, and his mother was born here, and his father was born here. No different than anybody else that was born here. I want the best for my people. All of my people. When one group fights the other group, those are my people. Regardless of what color they are, those are my people. And I want all my people to be peaceful to each other, respectful to each other. It's real simple for me to be respectful for somebody else because I have to be. But it's real bad when other people don't have to be respectful to me. See what I'm saying? Like in the back in the days, you better smile. You better get in the house before the street lights come on. Don't walk around by yourself at night. See, I had to argue with a friend of mine the other day over this fucking Ferguson thing. There is no black man alive, and there is no poor white person alive, raised and taught to fight back. You listen to what the police officer has to say. If he's doing dumb shit, you fucking run. That's how we was raised. Ain't nobody reaching in nobody's fucking police car trying to snatch a gun and then tell the cop, "You don't have the balls to shoot me." Don't this stupid motherfucker watch the news? Hmm? You think Michael Brown didn't see the news? You think Michael Brown didn't see what happened to uh, so many of them? I could use Oscar Grant. I can use the dude, a couple of dudes in New York. I can use the Trayvon. This is the society we grew up in. And I tried to tell this white dude, black people do not reach for guns unless they got one. Why am I going to reach for your gun and you're a police officer? And he says, "Well, I read the grand jury. I read what the grand jury heard." I'm like, "Well, did you read what the eyewitness said?" What eyewitness? The guy that was with Michael Brown standing right next to him. If the person standing right next to you when you get killed, when their statement is not in the grand jury testimony files, then what's the problem? And look, And I'm going to repeat this for the last motherfucking time to every single stupid son of a bitch out there who does not hear this. Hear this now. There is no person stupid enough to reach into a police car of color. Not black, not Mexican, not Asian. Now, I don't know how little white kids is taught. If a cop is reaching and grabbing at you, and I told this guy, it is more likely that that police officer pulled up and snatched Michael Brown with his free arm, and with his other hand, he was going to get his gun because he'd caught the guy who just stole 7 blunts from the liquor store and pushed Habib down. This young man was sentenced to death for stealing a fistful of cigarillos. So cigarillo, what a... We need to write a bill called an overkill bill. The overkill bill will state that you shoot to maim. Now, Michael Brown was a multi-millionaire. Did you know that? Did you know Michael Brown was so rich that if he would have got away with all those gunshots wounds in him, he could have went to his friend, the gangster doctor, and the gangster doctor would have fixed him up. Because in every ghetto, there's a doctor who takes out bullet wounds when you're illegally shot by the police officers. You have to be one of the dumbest people on the planet Earth to believe that any person of color would reach into a police car and threaten a police officer. And for a witness to say the police officer grabbed his arm and tried to pull him into the car, that seems more correct to me. Because in my life, I have been minding my own business, and a police officer just walk up and snatch, hey, come here. Now, if I would have fought back, then that's resisting arrest. If I run, I can get shot in the back. And because I was running, I must have been scared, or I must have been breaking the law. No. We have been raised to see what they want. If it don't help, run. If they're not trying to do something positive, run. If they're talking to you in a manner to where they're going to try to beat you up, run. If they talk to you in a manner that is disrespectful in any way, shape, or form, you do not have to sit there and listen to that shit. Run. And that's what we was taught. I don't know anybody who was taught if a police officer grab you, you're supposed to grab his gun. Nobody in the history of black people have ever told their kids to snatch the police officer's gun. Nobody. Nobody's raised like that. Nobody thinks like that. And for my so-called friend to say, that Michael Brown guy, he was wrong. He was wrong for what? He was wrong for stealing those blunts from the fucking store. He was cigarillos. Because if you had no weed, whatnot, did they have any marijuana in the system? Did weed make you want to snatch a gun? Yes, Michael Brown was a bully. You could see it in that video. You didn't see him try to bully that guy? Now, all the bullies that ever bullied me growing up, do they deserve to be shot dead? I don't know. Was Michael Brown truly a bully? He reached over there and stole those cigarillos. And then, when the store clerk tried to, hey man, tried to push the guy and beat him up violently. Big violent nigger. Looking like a fucking demon. That's what they said. But you have to use your brain. I'm just more than tired of people assuming that black people are so fucking stupid. That's ridiculous. We don't need a grand jury. We don't need an electoral college either. We need laws and bills to protect citizens from those who are paid to protect them. Now, if you, by law, are a police officer, do tests and all kinds of stuff you have to go through, mental checks and all that. As soon as you're faced with adversity, you're afraid of your life. You're afraid for your life. You shouldn't be a police officer. You shouldn't be in the military. It took 10 seconds to kill Andy Lopez. It took less than that to kill the little boy in Chicago, Cleveland. 12-year-old playing in the park. Oh, the orange tab was not on the end of his gun. It's ironic. Whenever they shoot a little kid, the orange tab happens not to be on the gun. The little thing that shows it's a fake gun is always missing when these little kids get shot now. But it's also ironic that they make pink and orange and white and yellow AK-47s too. They make those in those different colors. Green and blue and stuff like that. Protesters are stupid for getting on the freeways. The next time somebody gets shot and murdered, and it's iffy, we need an overkill bill. That way these police officers will make sure that if they shoot somebody, it's 100% right. They will make sure. Because with the overkill bill, you shoot somebody wrongfully, you shoot somebody out of anger, you shoot somebody 40 times, you lose your pension. Never be a police officer again. Cannot join the military. You know. They need to do something. Because when you're an innocent person and the perception of a guilty person is all people see when they see you, and there's no way you can win in this fight. You can walk to the store at 10 o'clock to get a beer. You can be 2 blocks from your house and someone says, hey, you fit the description, come here. I'm like, I just went to the store to get a beer. I'm on my way home. You're drunk in public. No, I went to the store to get a beer. I'm on my way home. Do you deserve that? Do you deserve it? Why should you be walking around at 10 o'clock at night, even to walk to the store? Is it gone that bad to where people should stay in the house now? Order everything from an Amazon tablet like I do now? You know, don't go outside anymore. Because so many times I was fitting the right description. People just get old. They grow up and they get tired of the bullshit. You know, some people don't want to take it no more. They get frustrated. Some people commit suicide because the world is so fucked up. They don't see no way out. They'd rather just fucking die. Some people get drugged up and so doped up that they don't even know who the hell they are 75% of the time. Some people beat and abuse their kids when they're frustrated and stressed out because of things that happen by other people. One of the things I used to do when I was working all the time, if I bring that bullshit home, all that bullshit racism I used to get at the job, I used to bring it home. Be mad at everybody at home because I couldn't do anything about the people at work. Then when you do something about the people at work, you get laid off and never called back. But the guy said, between you and Robbie, we won't ever get nobody to come work here anymore. You know, it's pitiful when you allow yourself to be treated a certain way. It's even worse when you try to stand up for yourself and there's laws stopping you from standing up for yourself. You can't defend yourself anymore. You know, and the number one thing the police don't like, the number one word you cannot say to a police officer is why. Why? Why are you arresting me? Why are you detaining me? Why? Now, if they're public servants, are we the public? Are we part of the American system? Are we part of this country? Are we the public? Or serve and protect? Serve who and protect what or whom? These questions must be answered before anyone, white or black or Asian or Mexican, can move forward. Who do they serve and protect? And if that's the case, how come at each and every one of these protests they're not police in the front? How come in each and every one of these protests the police can make a chain across the street, but they can't make a chain in front of that store? How come? You put thousands upon thousands of police on the front line to push the people back, but you sit back and let people's property get destroyed. How come? Because those same police officers that can line the street can line those restaurants. They can let the people walk up and down the street 50 million miles. They can go laps, circles around the buildings without burning the building, without tearing anything up. See, this is not a black and white problem. This is an American problem. The rules set early fuck up the game late. And right now, the powers that be, they want a race war in America. And they want a holy war. If you notice, we're fighting the Islamic State. We're fighting Islam. Now, didn't they tell us this in the Bible, that there'd be a holy war? We're fighting a religion. See, when you're twisted in the wind, you tend to get blown around, and you lose your bearing. And that's what all these countries and all these people have lost. I am so greedy in what I want for myself and my people that I can't see what you and your people need in order to give me what me and my people need. I can't work with you because I don't like you. Because you look different to me. I can't be better with you. These attitudes are old. And we humans who know and who believe and who've seen the truth, we're obsolete. They taught us to hate each other, and we know that that was wrong. We're obsolete. These kids nowadays don't know. They can't see what they've been trained to do or be. We're obsolete because we remember the struggles. We remember all this stuff. And some of us relics are just in the way now. I'm not just talking about me. I'm talking about every one of the people on the other side of this video who can understand what I am saying. We've come a long way to go backwards. And I was telling a friend of mine that if I was in control of this thing, I wouldn't teach history. Why would I teach history? Because the history that we have been taught is all wrong. Why would I teach a flawed subject? You know, why would I teach that Africans were only slaves and they've never done anything ever on this planet but be slaves? Why would I teach an untruth? Why would I teach the same shit that's been taught that's illogical, makes no sense? It's nonsensical, the history in which we've been taught, because that brings us to today. There's one group of people who've been taught that they've been superior their entire lives. There's another group of people who have been taught that they have been living in bush their entire lives, and this is not true. That's why we have problems. That's why a group of people will look at another group of people and say they have issues that are beyond us. So we need to get rid of them. Oh, we don't want those Mexicans here because Mexicans are taking jobs. We don't want those Mexicans here because they're going to ruin our economy. Now, you hear me only mention the Mexican people right now because they've already did the same thing to black people already. We don't want these blacks here. We don't want these poor white people here. And that's how it works. There's no more black and white. It's all about them and us. The rich and the poor. Once they get rid of all the poor and they live happy for their 15, 20 years, then they'll start getting nasty again. Then they'll start dividing themselves up again. Then they'll start, oh, well, we're this, and oh, you're that. It'll all start again. Once they get rid of all the poor people, they'll have their blacks over here rich. They have their rich whites over there. They have the rich Asians and rich Mexicans and all the rich. As soon as you drop off that little economic step, one trickle down, then you're the next bullshit. You're the next, oh, they're undesirables. So when they get rid of all of us poor people, when they've completely destroyed the middle class and it's just rich and poor, and they can just come up to any poor person they want to and say, hey, you want $40,000? Oh, I need the money. And fucking give me your fucking liver. And they take it right there and throw the money on you. $40,000 ain't shit now. You know, I want you to grab your Google and ask how many millionaires are in America. And then you ask how many Americans have over $200 million. And then you ask the net worth of some of these fucking people. And then you think, how much money do you need to live for the rest of your life? And you think about everything around you. And you think about just making yourself and you're happy, and making yourself and your family happy and your friends happy. That's it. Don't worry about no fucking body else. Don't help nobody but your family and friends. Because when you help other people, who gets your help? For one. Now, I'm going to mention one last thing before I go because these shows are only 40 minutes. Why in the fuck should any American, why in the fuck should any human being on the planet donate any monies to any pharmaceutical companies looking for a cure? Why in the fuck are we Americans, are we human beings, paying people to look for a cure that they won't give to us? Understand this. They have been gathering up money for cancer research since 1931. You telling me 70 years, 80 years, 50 years, 30 years, 40 years, the technology we have? There is more technology in a cell phone than was on the first space missions. You telling me with the technology we have, we don't have cures for diseases now? We do, but we won't get them until everybody's gone. Because somebody was telling me the New World Order, the Illuminati, and all this and that. And then some guys mentioned the Bible. You know, in the Bible, when God comes down, he's going to be able to cure all sickness. Right? No sickness. People will not be homeless anymore. Now, how can this happen? We have the technology now to cure cancer. I believe it. We have the technology now to cure a lot of shit. I believe it. But the cure is only going to go to those who can afford it. That is not humanity. Once we're all treated the same, once we're all doing the same things for each other, once we're all on the same page, regardless of who or what we are, then we all can survive. Because we're paying into a system that is built to destroy us. the human family, the human race. Think about it. You've been tubed.